two people dragged several hundred steel pipes and arrived at the high seas. They were ready to build a country of their own here. After they reached the designated location, the chubby guy immediately climbed up the steel pipes and opened the baffle. As a large amount of seawater kept pouring in, soon, the first foundation was successfully erected vertically on the sea surface. Right after that, the two people operated in the same way. In just 2.5 days, they built a 400 square meter land on the sea. But now they still had to solve the problem of water resources. So they immediately invited professional personnel and successfully tapped into the groundwater. Just as the two people were dancing to celebrate, a Coast Guard ship suddenly sailed over. However, after some verification, it was found that this was the high seas and they had no right to interfere. Helplessly, the Coast Guard had to sail away from the scene. They thought they would quickly build their country, but unexpectedly, that night, a strong wind suddenly blew up and a tsunami hit the calm sea surface. Just as the newly built country was on the verge of destruction, a distress signal flare streaked across the sky. Then, a small boat appeared on the sea, and the person on it successfully became the first citizen of this country. And the man happened to be a welder. So, it took him 2.5 days to build a house on the platform. Soon, a second citizen was attracted. He was a senior public relations professional. Because of his extremely strong professional ability, he was pushed out of his job by his colleagues. In this country without competition, the man could fully utilize his strengths. Then he set up a sign at the port, which quickly attracted a large number of tourists. In less than a week, he earned back 10 times the money spent on building the platform. Soon, the bustling scene here reached the senior government officials. They immediately sent 2 agents to investigate and were ready to seize the island at an opportune moment. As a result, after the agents had only stayed here for half a day, they were deeply attracted by the environment of the island and decisively resigned, planning to spend their remaining years here. When the general heard this, he was so angry that the veins on his face bulged. He said that if they didn't come back, he would put them on a nationwide wanted list. Scared, the agents quickly found the king and told him all the orders from the senior officials, saying that if he handed over the island, he could get the equivalent of 2 Hawaiian beaches in return. However, as the king, Chianga definitely wouldn't agree. When the general learned the news, he felt as uncomfortable as if he had swallowed a dead fly. Unexpectedly, when he just walked into the office, he found that the table was filled with envelopes. When he opened them, he found that they were all from residents who had given up their nationality and were ready to join Rose Island. Realizing the seriousness of the situation, the senior officials immediately dispatched a warship, which directly sailed to the doorstep of Rose Island. Seeing that the 6 kings held hands and were unyielding even in the face of death, they had no choice but to first fire a threatening shell and then negotiate by offering an additional $20 billion. Lured by the money, the people signed the contract without thinking twice. With Rose Island completely blown up, this unprecedented immigration turmoil finally came to an end. And the several kings, with more money than they could spend in several lifetimes, stepped onto the peak of their lives from then on.